A call for help appeared during a crisis, then turned into a scam that redirected donations away from real victims. Messages spread quickly through social media, emails, and fundraising pages, urging immediate support. The cause felt urgent: natural disasters, humanitarian crises, or emergency relief efforts. Donation links looked legitimate, often using names, images, and branding similar to real organizations. People gave quickly, believing their money would reach those in need. Some donated small amounts. Others contributed thousands in moments of urgency. Across countries, fake charity scams have taken millions during times of crisis. What felt like helping others was actually a system designed to exploit empathy for financial gain. In the immediate aftermath of major disasters, fake charity campaigns began appearing across the United States, Europe, Asia, and Australia within hours of news breaking. These scams were often run by organized groups creating donation pages that closely mirrored legitimate relief efforts. Real images, emotional stories, and recognizable organization names were copied to establish instant credibility. The campaigns were distributed through social media platforms, crowdfunding platforms, emails, and messaging apps to reach large audiences quickly. Targets included individuals, communities, and businesses responding to urgent humanitarian situations. Because the events were real and unfolding, people had little time to verify whether the appeal was genuine. Reports from agencies such as the ACNC and FTC showed these scams emerging consistently after global crises. Losses ranged from small donations collected at scale to larger organized contributions redirected away from legitimate causes. By the time donations were made, the campaigns often appeared identical to real charities, making detection extremely difficult. The outreach was designed to spread quickly, often using emotional messaging and urgent calls to action. Donation links were shared widely through posts, messages, and even paid advertisements to reach as many people as possible. Campaigns often included countdowns, funding goals, and real-time updates to create a sense of momentum. In many cases, names similar to well-known charities were used, differing only slightly to avoid detection. Some scams even used cloned websites that looked identical to official donation pages. Victims were encouraged to donate immediately, with messaging emphasizing urgency over verification. Because the cause was real, the request felt legitimate and time-sensitive. Donations were processed through various methods, including bank transfers, online payments, and cryptocurrency. By the time funds were sent, the donor believed they had contributed to a genuine relief effort. Once donations began, the campaigns reinforced trust by showing progress updates and messages of gratitude. Fake receipts, confirmation emails, and donation summaries were provided to make the process feel complete. Some campaigns displayed increasing totals, creating the impression of widespread support and legitimacy. In certain cases, comments and testimonials were added, appearing to come from other donors. These interactions were often controlled or fabricated to maintain confidence in the campaign. As visibility increased, more people contributed, believing they were part of a collective effort. Behind the scenes, funds were directed to accounts controlled by the scam network. No real distribution or relief activity was taking place. By this stage, the scam had converted emotional response into sustained financial flow. As campaigns gained traction, scammers expanded their reach by creating multiple versions of the same appeal across different platforms. They adjusted names, images, and messaging slightly to avoid detection while targeting new audiences. In some cases, direct messages were sent to individuals requesting urgent help or larger contributions. Businesses and community groups were also targeted, sometimes approached for bulk donations or partnerships. Follow-up messages were used to request additional funds, often citing new developments or increased need. Because the crisis was ongoing, these updates felt plausible and justified. Losses increased as repeated donations were made under the belief that the situation was evolving. Behind the scenes, funds were quickly transferred across accounts and jurisdictions. By this stage, the campaign had moved beyond a single appeal into a structured, ongoing operation. Doubts usually appeared when donors attempted to verify the campaign or noticed inconsistencies in the organization's details. Some searched for the charity name and found no official registration or conflicting information. Others contacted real organizations and discovered the campaign was not affiliated with them. In many cases, donation pages disappeared or became inactive once funds had been collected. Communication from the campaign stopped or failed to provide clear answers when questioned. Authorities across countries, including the OAIC and CUDL, issued warnings about these patterns. By the time the situation was confirmed, funds had already been transferred and were difficult to recover. For many donors, the realization came after repeated attempts to track where their money had gone. What initially felt like contributing to relief efforts unraveled into a system designed to exploit empathy for financial gain. The scam was typically uncovered after donors reported suspicious campaigns to platforms, banks, or consumer protection agencies. Across countries, reports showed consistent patterns: cloned charity names, urgent appeals, and rapid fund collection. Agencies like the ACCA, ASICA, and AKN identified these as coordinated charity fraud operations. Investigations revealed how scammers tracked global news cycles and launched campaigns within hours of major events. Digital analysis showed cloned websites, spoofed domains, and coordinated messaging networks designed for rapid spread. Financial tracking indicated that donations were routed through multiple accounts and quickly dispersed across jurisdictions. Platforms began removing fraudulent campaigns and issuing warnings to users. Despite these efforts, new campaigns continued to appear during every major crisis. What appeared to be isolated fundraising efforts was ultimately identified as a structured system exploiting urgency and empathy at scale. What made this scam effective was the timing. It appeared at the exact moment people were most willing to help. Donors were not acting carelessly. They were responding to real events and genuine need. The system used emotion, urgency, and familiar messaging to remove hesitation. Because the cause was real, the request felt credible without deeper verification. Investigations showed that the same structure was reused globally across different disasters and crises. This allowed the scam to scale quickly while remaining convincing to new audiences. The financial impact often came from large numbers of small donations rather than a few large transactions. For many, the realization came only after the campaign disappeared or was flagged as fraudulent. The pattern remains active today, evolving with new platforms, but relying on the same core mechanism of turning empathy into financial loss.